On my last video, I spoke about spiritual awakening, and you might be wondering, why would I bother about my soul matters if I'm still human? And you do have a point, because you have the rest of eternity to learn about your soul matters and the nature of your immortal consciousness. However, having said that, when you search for this kind of knowledge, there are some major shifts that happen in your consciousness that will help you to live a lighter life, and I'll be talking about some of them today. Hi, I'm Juliana. If you are into self-development, especially on the topics of mind, body, and soul, then this channel is definitely for you. Make sure you subscribe and you hit the notification bell. Sometimes people, they have something that triggers some sort of spiritual awakening in their lives, but they don't really pursue this kind of knowledge, and they bounce back to their human existence and get trapped again into the human mindset. Today I'll be talking about the major shifts that happen to the ones that really go for it to understand existence. Now, the most interesting thing is usually these people, they seek for the knowledge and they choose what they believe by what resonates inside themselves. And if you go through these metaphysical groups, you're gonna figure out that these people, even though they choose what to believe, they kind of end up believing on the same things. And that reminds me of the things my guides usually scream in my head, that you are not learning, you are just remembering. And now I'll be covering 5 major shifts that come from this kind of knowledge that makes your human experience much lighter. Your relationship with God will change from a fear-based one to love and compassion. And you're finally going to understand what all religions they mean by saying we are all one and we are all connected. You will also understand what true unconditional love means. You'll change the way you choose your actions as well, from being afraid of punishment and judgment to actions out of love and compassion, because you know that what you're doing to other people, you're actually doing to yourself. And also, you're gonna learn how to accept and respect people's choices, even though you don't agree with them. You'll change your perspective about injustices as well, because you know there is divine perfection even in chaos. You might not be able to understand that from a very limited human perspective, but once you learn about the soul levels, you'll be able to understand that there is purpose behind everything. Your view about death changes. Not only you stop fearing your own death, but also you understand that Earth, it is a school. And when people die, it is because they finished what they came here to learn. So they're just graduating and going back home. Knowing that will not stop you from feeling sad when a loved one dies. But you will know that they continue to exist and you can keep in touch with them either through your dreams and also through prayer. And it's just a matter of time until you get reunited with them again. And about your own death, you'll know that first you gotta finish everything that you came here to do. And when you are ready, you're gonna go back home. You learn to differentiate human logic and soul logic. Human logic is very linear and conditioned in the way we are brought up in our cultures here. And soul logic, it is based on frequency, vibration, and energy. And that will help you to differentiate the voices inside your head, and you'll know when it's your human ego self talking to you, and usually it will make you struggle, and when it's your soul talking to you and pointing you better directions in your life. And you learn how to follow the energies, because you know it will lead you to amazing paths in life and magic doors will open on the way. And that takes me to the next major shift in your consciousness, which is you're gonna feel much less fearful about the future. Every major spiritual school or spiritual master, they talk about the importance of grounding yourself in the present moment. And that's actually quite simple to understand. The language of the universe, it is energy and vibration. So you gotta think about it as if it was a TV. And the same as in a television, you have an infinite number of channels running in parallel. They're just in different frequencies. So knowing that, when you fear about your future, guess what you're doing to yourself? You are shifting your vibration into a channel, a reality that you actually don't prefer. You're gonna become more aware of your thoughts, and instead focusing on the things that you don't prefer, you're gonna actually shift and focus on the things that you want to achieve in your life. And you're going to ground your actions in the present moment, because you know the universe has your back and it will bring you everything that you need as long as you stay tuned in the right vibration of the things that you want to achieve in your life. So you see how learning about energy can change your relationship with the future, because you know that the only way you can have an impact over it is by changing your vibration in the present moment. The last shift in consciousness that I'll be talking about today, it is when you understand that you are not a victim of life, you are actually the creator, which means you have chosen everything that you went through in your life. And I gotta be honest and say that myself, I had a hard time to accept that. Personally speaking, I used to feel very comfortable as a victim because that didn't require any responsibility from my side. But like it or not, free will is a universal law that every single religion talks about it, but not many people seem to understand. We do manifest everything in our lives, and we do so from the highest levels of our consciousness. And as I said before, the soul logic is quite different than the human logic. So where the human sees pain, suffering, and struggles, the soul sees learn, growth, and expansion. So how knowing that makes life lighter and easier? Well, it's simple. If you feel like a victim, most likely you're gonna feel like the world is a not fair place towards you. But when you are the creator and something you don't like happens, you ask yourself, why am I manifesting this in my life? How does this serve a purpose for me to grow and learn with it? And once you get to the point, you move on without carrying the burden that the world is not a fair place towards you. If you haven't watched yet, I do have a couple of videos that you might be interested about it. This one, it is about how the process of awakening feels like. So I do hope today's video has helped you somehow. Thank you so much for watching and see you soon.